Ah. Question.
I'm not faced it as well, but I was trying to figure out in order for it. Do I need to speak?
Yes.
I have to press anything or
On.
not? Hari Swami. Swamiji, one question I had in my mind that when you say purification of mind, we have to do karma yoga. And in that one specifically is that kama, krodha, moment, we have to destroy that. Even though we listen many times, we understand we should do it. What is it that prevents us from fully able to apply it, even no matter we do abhyasa? Why we cannot get rid of it 100%? It always comes back. What do we need to do as an average person so we become stronger in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Raga Dveshas, pairs of opposite, will not go just like that. It is rooted in ignorance. So unless our mind discovers something more higher, more endearing, it will not give up. See, the mind is such that it is holding on to something. The mind cannot leave that unless it finds something better. So slowly you have to develop bhakti for the Lord. Devotion to the Lord, if you develop, slowly those things will slowly drop. Don't try to remove it one by one, it won't work. It's like our property. You try to remove one, like another one will catch, that one will. This is how it is. So best way is to develop devotion to the Lord. More and more dependent upon God than the world. Right now our mind is depending upon the world for happiness. So that has to change. To become more dependent upon Bhagavad. So mind is to be educated, slowly educated. Saying that whatever that you are holding on to is not permanent. It doesn't give you lasting happiness, it gives you trouble only. So like this you have to re-educate the mind. Then slowly things will change.
Yeah, one question I have is in Bhagavad Geeta, in some instances, which I understand, it says action is better than inaction. But in some instances, you should not even have any actions when you start going into meditation, contemplation. Thus, the Lord means action with egocentric attitude, that is what we should get rid of. Can you expand on that? Can you clarify that?
Action by itself is not bad, good or bad. It is the attitude behind the action that makes it binding. So, if selfless, dedicated action at the altar of Lord is rewarding. But if it is a selfish action, then what happens? It breeds raga-dveshas, likes and dislikes. So therefore Bhagavan said the actionless meditation should be. But a person who is in the mundane world, if he sit idle, it will rot him. So it is better, even if it is selfish action, it doesn't matter, but at least he is doing something that makes him active. And a person who sits idle, he will age also faster. So activity is a sign of life. It's a very insignia of life. So one should act. But then afterwards, You should, if it is a tamasic person, he doesn't want to act at all. He is lazy. So you have to show him a carrot. Hey, if you do this, this will benefit. To make him active. Then he becomes hyperactive, then you tell him, hey, calm down. This is how it is.
Okay. Thank you so much. Oh, you have the wireless ones.
Hello, Swamiji. Namaskar to you. This question is from the 5th chapter. Yesterday I understood that if a person does good deeds, he comes back being born in a yogi kuda or in a good place where he can continue his sadhana.
6th chapter.
In 5th chapter, yesterday we finished. There, Bhagavad says, Partha naiveha namutra vinasas tasya vicchate.
That is 6th chapter.
6th chapter, sorry. And again in 9th chapter, Bhagavan says, Chine punye marte loke vishanti. These people, they go enjoy the heaven and they will again come back to earth. So in both the situations, the people are coming back to earth because, so what's the difference from Hanuman?
See, both, there is no difference. Here what happened, there are two, what do you call, one is, Tedam buddhva sargalokam visharam chine punye marte lokam vishanti. Those people who are ritualistic people or going to heaven, there are so many rituals. Or there are so many other activities also, like Vapi, Upakatadakadi, like social work, etc. If you do as a result of that, the Punya Karma, you go to heaven. And enjoy the heavenly pleasures there. And once that Punya is over, you come back. Now coming back in which yoni you enter, it depends upon your prarabdha. Whatever that was in your sanchita karma, what is there. But when it comes to a meditator, a person who was meditating, and he become yoga prashta. So yoga prashta means a person who has not achieved the goal of perfection, but then he was meditating. So that person, what happened, because of the practice of meditation itself is a punya karma. So as a result of that punya karma, he go to heaven. And then when he finishes his, what you call punya, as a result of his tapas, his meditation, tapas, he will be given in a family where there is noble family. So he will have a good start. So paprapya punya kritan lokan ushidva shashwati samaha suchinam srimatan yehe yoga prashto vicharu athava yoginam eva kule bhakti nikata. So that is.
So there is a difference.
Second question is not.
Can I extend to this question, Swamiji? Sorry, very sorry. Swamiji, Gurudev said many times, and you have also said that we become nimitta when children are born in our family. So we are just instrument to give birth to them. So what, like you say, extension of this question, what happens when the punya is done and jiva has decided to take a birth in this life? Do they decide which family he wants to go, or is it, how is the decision made that that child is decided to be born in this family?
It's a big programming, okay? It's a giant computer. How that is mind-boggling actually. See, it is said in Chandogya Upanishad that the jivas come through the clouds, and when the rain comes, the jivas come down to earth and become part of the vegetable. And that vegetable the man eats. The jiva enters the man first and then enters the mother's womb. Now, which jiva goes, which parent he chooses, etc. It's a very, now how many millions of possibilities are there? And you have to go and buy that zucchini and that zucchini. this person is there. How do we know this? This is mind-boggling, really. It's very difficult to explain how it works. Bhagwan's computer here.
Hari Om Swamiji. My pranams to you. Swamiji, we see many of the learned people, sannyasis, swamis, and people who are really well versed in the scriptures say one thing and then tend to do something else. And the message that comes out is very confusing. It's hard for us to pass that information down to our children, say, don't do that because that's not right. But they don't, and they look at it and say, he's doing it or she's doing it. Why they say one thing and go to the other?
Yeah, that's great. So, that is because you off that.
Yeah, I turn it off.
Turn it off. That's because whatever they learn, it's not assimilated in them. It's sitting there as a knowledge. But that knowledge you receive, it is beneficial to you. Nothing wrong in that. So such cases, what you should do, you should listen to their talk and don't follow them. Leave them alone and lecture ho gaya, but namaskar bhaiya. Don't follow, don't start observing their daily routine and things like that. That is not an example for you. So this is safer. Otherwise you start comparing what he taught and then how he is living. You start comparing, you will be disappointed, you will lose faith in the scriptures, faith in the gurus, etc. That is not good.
Many of the well-learned, well-respected have fallen prey to that, and it's kind of...
Yeah, but that is uska karne, guru ka karne, guru change. That is his problem. Why we have to carry that problem? Let him have, one day he will wake up, the teaching will not go waste. It will be a turning point for him also. It will change. Haji, what else?
It's on. Which one?
Hari Om Swamiji. Yesterday you gave one example in meditation chapter 6 that you compared, Bhagavan compares the mind to the horse. So how one tames the horse and then you ride it. Similarly, you control your mind through various ways like sadhana. So one finds it perhaps a little easier through their own sadhana, to control their own mind and make some progress. So we find sometimes that we're making progress, but when you are around other people, like your family or your friends or at your work or your boss, their mind also acts like wild horse, where you lose your cool. So in that sense, we always are in the samsara where we are affected by other people's actions, or other people's feelings, or other people's misbehavior. So how do you maintain your own horse in that sense?
Yeah, there's 3 other verses also. Afterwards, there are 3 other verses I gave. So how a meditator should live in the world. There are 3 verses with reference to paristhiti, with reference to objects, with reference to relations. So when you are living among people, that is where the problem is. So who is doing what? That curiosity you should not have. So allow them. Whatever their samskara, you react, then you will get into trouble. So everybody is live like people. You should take human being as they are. What we do is we want them to behave in a way that we want. So that is creating problem for us. So what we should do is we should learn to accept them as they are and don't try to change them for our convenience. Now, because I'm meditating, I want a peace of mind, so let my wife not ask me questions. She is like that, now what can you do? That is her nature. Now don't try to change her. So leave her as she is and let her have her own likes and dislikes. Leave her alone. So this is the way to deal with people. Otherwise, you will never be able to find peace.
I had a question, Swamiji.
Let's get the mic straight, recorded.
Same people are asking questions. That's not good.
Hari Om Swamiji. One of my question is, I have heard several times, being born as a human being is the best thing of all the living beings.
Right.
Does it mean that we have done we have a lot of good vasanas from the previous births, or that's what I am thinking compared to any other beings? We have done something good in the past karmas. That's why we are born as a human being. That is my understanding.
It is said that your punya papa will become 50-50, you become a human being. Yeah. It's very difficult to balance. And somehow we got balance and got a human life. That's why it's very rare. Jandunam darajanma durlabham. It's very rare to get a human life. And having got it, don't waste it. Durlabham trayame veda devanugraha hetukam manishyatvam mukshutvam mahapurushsamsraya. These three things very difficult, very rare. Manishyatvam, having born as a human being, humane qualities. And then mumukshutvam, so to have a thought of getting moksha, that itself is a great blessing. And you may have desire to gain moksha, but then no help. You have a guru also, our Gurudev, luckily we have under his umbrella. So that is also a great blessing. So don't waste it. Yeah.
Swamiji, I'm just continuing with that same thing.
Loud.
Closer.
It's
Okay.
recorded.
Speak to the mic,
Yeah.
not me.
As a human being, I believe that you have to get rid of the vasanas to attain the moksha. But to get rid of the vasanas, you have to do some action. But that action again will have positive and the negative. So you will always be collecting more and more vasanas. It's so difficult to get rid of everything.
That's right, Bhagwan has given a method.
Bhagavad has given a method in Geeta how to act without getting collecting. So without getting bound, how do you act in this world? So that's a Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, Prasada Buddhi. The attitude in action makes the difference. So when you act, then I am not doing for myself, I am doing for the Lord. So this is the method by which you don't collect ragadveshas, you neutralize ragadveshas, you become reaction-free mind. So such a mind alone will be able to gain moksha. So we have to prepare our mind. So this karma yoga is not a joke. It is to be practiced. It is not a theory that you think that I will practice later. No. It is to be practiced right now.
I have one more question. It's a silly question which probably everybody
Closer.
I have one more question. It might be silly, but I know that we've heard that you should, everybody should have like an Ishta Devata where you could meditate on the form. What if you don't have an Ishta Devata? That's one question. Because you like all forms. And the second question is, what if you have an Ishta Devata, but you're still attracted to, like you probably, for example, you have an Ishta Devata of Lord Shiva, but you also like Lord Rama, constantly thinking Rama, 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 and then during this Kartik month, you're also thinking about Lord Krishna. So, is that bad to have so many forms in your mind?
See, Ishtadevata is when you sit down and close your mind, whoever comes to your mind easily, that is considered your Ishtadevata. Now suppose Lord Shiva comes and then you are chanting Krishna's name, it doesn't matter. Because between Krishna and Shiva, they don't have quarrel. The quarrel is between our problems. Because they are one and the same. In all our Puranas, you see Vishnu Purana, Shiva Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, all these Purana, Devi Purana, all these things, that Devi is number one God. Then Brahma became number 2, Vishnu became number 3, Shiva became number 4. Her own husband became number 4. You see, wherever you read Shiva Purana, Shiva is number 1. Then Vishnu became number 2. And Vishnu Purana, Vishnu is number 1. What is that means? God is only one. What name you call it doesn't matter. So, don't worry, whatever name you say, but keep one Ishtadevata. Don't keep on changing. So Rameshwara Paramahansa used to tell an example that you are married to a family where 8 brothers are there. You are married to the 4th brother. Your relationship with that 4th brother, that is you are married, your husband, is different. But you have also a relationship with the other brothers. The same way, your Ishtadevata is like you are married to. And all other brothers, relationship how you have, the same way all other gods also you should have a relationship.
Swamiji, my question is how to develop Ananya Bhakti towards Bhagavan?
Bhagavan is going to tell in Geeta also, last verse, Sarvadharman Paritijya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. There he is going to say that even for developing bhakti also you should depend upon it. See, you are asking how I develop. Again, the I is there. That is where the problem is. So, oh Bhagavan, please give me bhakti. That should be the attitude. So, surrender totally to him and seek his blessing for having bhakti. That is Ananya Bhakti. Anya thought. Ananya Bhakti is what? I want only him, nothing else. Ananyat, today I am going to talk about it. Ananyat chindayanto mam yajana paryubhasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogacchevam vamyam. Ananya Bhakti, anya, other than God, I don't want anything. That should be the thinking. But right now, God is also okay. Among other things, God is also. That is where the problem is.
Swamiji, yeah, so it is a little bit related to that question. The difficulty is in having 100% belief. So how to get the 100% belief and how to surrender so that there is no other option?
Yeah. It's called Bhakti Sadhana. There are so many methods. That's why our rishis have given so many literature for us. So all these Puranas, if you read, you keep reading, then slowly you develop that hero worship, you see. Unless you pick up one particular God and start worshipping, and that identity has to come. It comes by reading, repeatedly reading. Ramayana you read, Ram Bhakti comes. So if you not read one time, any time if you read, then what happens? Mind picks up some sentiments. See, all these Mahakavyas, Ramayana, etc., is Mahakavyas. So all rasams are given there. Puranas also, Bhagavatam also, 10th canto, you see, Bhagavan Krishna's story, all different emotions are given, plain. And these emotions, and which one will hit you, we don't know. Sometimes it is Vatsalyam, sometimes it is Vairam, sometimes it is friendship. All these different emotions are there in us. It is there in our subconscious, but it's not manifest. So when you read these kathas, what happened? Certain emotions get manifest. And that emotion is the one that helps you to develop bhakti. So you don't know which one is going to hit you. So keep reading. The serials, nowadays the serials helps.
Swamiji, one question. When we are trying to do meditation, or when we are trying to do japa, like Swamiji said yesterday, unless we conduct ourselves in in a proper way, without raga, dvesha, without kama, krodha throughout the day, in the meditation seat, the mind will not be controlled. Just my observation is, it's actually worse than that. When our mind is like that and when we are trying to meditate, then meditation or that attempted meditation seems to be like an amplifier. So whatever negativity is there, it seems to be more. So when the mind is agitated like that, what should we do? Should we say my discipline is that I should do it and continue with it, or should we not do it for that period of time, or how to get back to normal?
Okay, I got it. So, see, sometimes there are certain days when you sit for meditation, mind is calm, it's easy. There are certain days the mind is agitated, the mind revolts, it becomes a rebellious situation. But you should not stop meditation. So, you continue to meditate even if the mind is rebellious, even if mind is turbulent, it doesn't matter. Slowly, you observe the turbulent nature of the mind, and then be watchful. Don't get involved in don't start rating the mind. Don't start condemning the mind. Don't start saying that, hey, I don't think I can do it. I don't know why it is, and also try to find a reason why your mind is agitated. You put a blame on somebody, all this thought will go. So don't do all that. Just sit there and watch. And let the mind get agitated. Okay, go agitate. Let us see how far it goes. And then what happened? Mind itself gets tired. You have to let that course run. When it runs through, what happened? The mind gets exhausted, it stops. If you don't allow that, what happened? It will be a pent-up emotion. It becomes suppressed. That is more dangerous. Yeah. Don't give up.
Here. This is the right.
Swamiji. Similar to that, if we have to choose between being right and being nice, which being right and being nice, because both have a tendency to, which do you choose? Because both can take you different ways.
Yeah. Satyam vada, priyam vada, hitam vada, all these things are there. So even if you tell the truth, it has to be pleasant. It should be beneficial to that person. It said that Ramchandraji was asked to go to the forest, and then he wanted to break the news to his mother. So he was thinking what I should tell her. It was a very delicate moment, and he said, Pita dini mukhe kanana raju. So he says, my father has given me kingdom of forest. See? He didn't say he banished me to the forest. He says he has given me the kingdom of forest. So this is how you have to be, even though you are telling the truth, but tell in such a way that it is beneficial to that person and pleasant to that person. And if that is not possible, you have a choice to keep quiet. Just don't say anything. Then afterwards you calm down, you think about it, and then go back and tell in a nicer way. That's how you have to do. Practical life.
How to develop that skill?
You will learn. You make mistakes, doesn't matter. Don't cry over it. But it will come to you slowly. But keep that value in mind. Then slowly it will come to you.
Hari Om Swamiji. This is again related to the meditation question. Say days when you are not able to focus and not get distracted. Such days, is it possible, or is playing some musical instrument or something, is that a form of meditation, or is it just sitting and doing some meditation?
Generally, our Vedantic meditation, we don't recommend that. Because nowadays they have so many gadgets coming out. Music, that, this and all that. Then what happened? Your mind start getting attached to that. You become dependent upon that. If that music is there, meditation is there. If that is not there, meditation is not there. See, the whole idea of meditation practice is to get rid of all the attachment. So you get hooked on to something else. That is a replacement. It doesn't really help. Now, I accept those people who are selling that.
Hari Om Swamiji. Yes, we have only 5 minutes left. But my question... 5:15, sorry. My question is related to Puja Gurudeva. And you've been the closest and longest in association with Puja Gurudeva. Of course, some of us have seen it. Some of the people have not even seen Puja Gurudeva. Can you give us one or two instances which really touched you in your life about Puja Gurudeva?
I don't know where. Antate kadayishyami. It's so many things, but at least, once I was traveling with him in Kerala. So the one Nambudiri came and told Gurudev that he had a property and he wanted to sell it. Half the property he wanted to sell it. And the buyer happened to be a Christian. So he wanted to sell it because of want of money. He doesn't have enough money to survive. But then he found that portion of the property, the temple is there. The ancestors' temple is there. So he had 2-3 idols there, Vishnu Bhagwan, Lord Shiva and Ganesha. So he wanted to bring that idol to his house so that he can do the worship. So Swamiji said, okay, why don't you do it? And he said, in Kerala, before they move the idol, they do something called prasna, Ashtamangalya prasna. 8 astrologers sit and then calculate, and then they decide what is to be done. So when they calculated, and then they said, no, this idol cannot be moved from the place. It is so ancient, it cannot be moved. And then and he was in a dilemma. So I don't move it, it will go into the Christian's hand, that is more dangerous, or he will not do any worship, that is not good. So he was not really comfortable about it. So then he asked the astrologers what is the next possibility. He said, in front of a Jivan Mukta Purusha, you can move it. So then he asked, who is Jivan Mukta Purusha? And he said, Kanchi Acharya, that the old one, Kanchi Acharya. Well, the Ambudri said, he will not come, he is far away and in the remote village in Kerala, how is he going to come? It's very difficult. And even if I approach, there are so many layers of people he has to go through, and finally I don't think it is possible. What is the second possibility? Any other person? And he said, Swami Chinmaya. He's telling, somebody is telling Gurudev. And Swamiji laughed and said, do you believe in this astrologers and all that? But he changed his itinerary and he went there, and in front of his presence, the Sambudri removed the idols. So only then I knew I was staying with the Jivan Mukta Purusha. Until then, I didn't know his glory. I was admiration, but he was a Jivan Mukta Purusha. That thought was not there in me. There's no time with him, dull moments. See, in Baroda, this is a joke, it's a real practical joke. In Baroda, he conducted a yajna. One day before he completed the yajna. So he told everybody to write questions. So he will answer. So the next day when he went to the Yajnashala, there were about 200 questions. And then he said, if you have an address, I will write your answer by mail. So Gurudev was able to answer about 50 to 60 questions he answered from the platform. The rest of it he carried with him. And he said, he gave it to me. He said, now, next stop onward. Then he was going to this, what you call, Surat. So from Surat and then afterwards going to somewhere, other places. So we carried. Every day morning, then Gurudev has his own regular correspondence. And then he will take 10 or 20 questions and answer. And one of the envelopes he opened, it was written in Gujarati. So he looked at it, then immediately told me, write in Malayalam. I received your letter, since it is written in Gujarati, I cannot read it. So, thank you very much for sending it. So, and he asked me to write in Malayalam, and then he signed it. And then closed it and said, let him go and find out something. These are practical jokes.
Swamiji, in the sadhana, we always hear that we have to change ourselves. And that is the only sadhana, the real sadhana that we come to at the end. Yet we also desire that circumstances around us to change for conducive, be it at work or whatever. how much of that one has to continue all the time?
In sadhana, you should not even conscious that you are changing. If you become conscious you are changing, then you are not changing, because that is where the ego wants acknowledgement. We are giving something to fodder to the ego. So we have to be very careful. Our spiritual progress has to be silent and you should not become conscious of it. Let others discover your change, not you discover your change. So that's why spiritual practice is to be done secretly, not with announcement. It's not something that is to be publicized. It is your own private thing. Yeah. So quietly, silently do it without making announcement and without expecting recognition also. The very fact that you talk about it shows that you want recognition. So that is not progress, that is digress. So, okay.
Swamiji, I have a contrary question. If the whole world is a dream, why should the realized master pull us out? If the whole world is a dream and the realized master knows it, there's nothing wrong with it. There's no good and bad, he knows that. So why should he even try to come and take us out of it? Why should he pull us out?
Why should he not wake you up? That's a question.
Why should he wake us up?
Why should he come and try to pull us out of this dream?
Why should he?
Why does he?
Why does he?
Love.
Be repeated.
You are asking why not that Guru come and lift you up, or?
No, why does he knows it's a dream. So,
why not he let you continue your dream? Oh, I see.
Why come and
That's it.
what's the point? Why wake you up anyway?
Why wake up anyway?
That you dream?
It's a dream. You know.
It is a defect of the Guru, you see. The problem is Guru is compassionate and he is experiencing something nobler, wonderful, a wakeful state. He wants you to enjoy that. So it is this love for you that is making you wake up, not because of anything. So he knows you are suffering and he wants to help you. It is the nature of sadhus. Pargarim sapnuni sadhu. They always think about the other person. So it is your welfare in mind that he is trying to wake you up and help you out. That is compassion.
My question is, how do you gauge yourself that you moved in the path of spirituality? How do you
gauge yourself? Don't. That is a problem. The moment you start gauging, you develop ego.
How will you know that you are making?
This is called spiritual ego.
Ego.
Yeah. I am better than, holier than thou. You know, that attitude will come. So better don't judge. Progress will happen automatically if you are in the path.
So there is no...
The litmus test is, you are asking for litmus test, right? How emotions have a play in you. See, before certain emotions like anger, if you are angry, it lasts for a week. Now if you are angry, it lasts only an hour. And that also reduced to half an hour, 15 minutes, 2 minutes. If this progress is there, then you can say that I am growing. Any emotion for that matter. So the mind becomes slowly reaction free. Certain emotion will have no grip over you. It come and go, you are able to dismiss it faster than before. The recovery period is faster. That is the litmus test. It's not that emotions will not come, then you become like a stove. No, emotions will be there. But that recovery period faster.
So is there a way to recognize that the recovery is happening or you are actually ignoring the fact? There is a difference between
No, recovery is happening and you know it also.
But most of the time when something happens, we say, oh, he's like that, ignore it, or something like that.
Yeah.
Then that's not actually helping you. It stays with you, it doesn't go.
If you say you are able to ignore it and move forward, that's a progress. Before that, you have to compare yourself. Before that same thing happened, what would have been your reaction? Now the same thing happened, what is your reaction? You have to compare and see how it has affected you.
Swamiji, could we conclude with another Gurudev story?
I am not able
One more question.
Yes, one more.
Swamiji, when we serve, like whether at mission or anywhere else, we are primarily doing it to evolve ourselves, to get somewhere a little better, improve. Along the way, you are either inspiring people around you, or you may unconsciously discourage others, or leave not a good impression. The one thing is, like when we serve, can you kind of tell us, guide us, or give us advice, what should be our approach, what should be our attitude? Are there like do's and don'ts that we should be, like we are looked upon as a next generation, our children or anybody younger, as a role model in some way? And we have how to leave positive impression in doing our work and inspiring others.
The very idea that you want to impress somebody is the problem. It's not that you can impress somebody. It's all dependent upon that person, how he look at it, you see. So what you have to do is, in your sadhana, you be sincere. Whatever that you are doing, you be sincere. And that is what is that person observes. You may have certain way of speaking or certain way of behavior, that they get used to it afterwards. But what they value is your sincerity. If you are very sincere and honest about what you are doing, that they value. And then even if there are some other defects you have personality-wise, they will ignore it. But some quality must be there outstanding in you. That is what they observe.
Anybody questions? Nepal, you had related questions?
Hariom Swamiji, a kind of a little bit confusion between Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. Are they parallel paths? Are they convenient at one place? Or are they good? Or sometimes we hear that one yoga is good enough to take you to a better place or to raise you to the next standards.
Okay. Bhakti Yoga is not, today I'm going to talk about it. Bhakti Yoga is not one special path. Bhakti is to be practiced for all paths. So Bhakti Bhakti is something that is common. Whether you are Karma Yogi, you have to have Bhakti. If you are a Jnana Yogi, you have to have Bhakti. If you are an Ashtanga Yogi, you have to have Bhakti. So in all yogas, you have to have Bhakti. So Bhakti is common. But karma, between karma and jnana is the main thing. Now karma yoga is practice for antakarna suddhi, purity of mind. With the purity of mind alone, you should enter into jnana marga. So one is a means, other is an end. So this is not parallel path. It is one after another. That's why yesterday I talked about this. There is no choice. Should I wear shirt or pant, that example. Yeah.
Hari Om Swamiji. This crash course has been much more revealing than anything else that I can see. Such a wonderful flow, and thank you very much. My question is, as a pediatrician, I've seen the early childhood years, the experience of the child in the first 4 or 5 years has so much influence on the future of life. I think both spiritual and secular. So how much of that influences the ego, and then how to overcome that may be pretty deep.
What is that? I didn't get the question. What is it?
Oh. So the early childhood experience, good or bad, was spiritual or otherwise, even the way they were taking care, the pediatrician has seen that influences as they grow tremendously in their mind. Need a lot of therapeutic intervention. In coming to spiritual aspect of life and increasing the ego during those childhood, negatively or positively, how would that affect the spiritual growth of a person?
Yes, bringing up in the childhood definitely affects the spiritual growth. That's why good childhood, good parentage and all that help protecting the spiritual growth. But there are children who had bad parentage, bad childhood, they have come out of it also. It all depends upon his willpower. So if he has that will to do it and he is convinced about it, then nothing can stop. Childhood influence and all that, there are psychologists, psychiatrists talk about it. It may have certain effect, but then one can overcome all that if he is determined. He should overcome.
Hari Om Swamiji, something quite related in the sense that in the pretext of being compassionate towards our kids, we sometimes give them advice, hey, this is how you should do, and that backfires. Like you said, the guru's compassionate and that's why he's trying to wake you. We pretend to be that and we kind of impose, rather share our experiences with our child, and that sometimes backfires. So how do we go on doing that? Because that's one thing I guess every parent and definitely mom loves to do.
As parent, your duty is to give advice. That is, whether you, however modern you are or trying to be, liberal and all that, you can't but do it. And it is your duty also, because the child is growing up, it doesn't know what is good and bad. So it is the parent who has grown up, who has walked that path, it is the parent's duty to advise. But you have to know where to stop. That is the fine line. You can give them advice and leave them. Don't go after them with the chaku, gun behind. That is all you have to be careful. Yeah, in our
Swamiji, this is actually the start of now. Kids, that's a new chapter, but I think that's last 1 or 2. Swamiji, to you, but
in our these scriptures, there is a story about Uddalaka and Swamiji. Swamiji was a dropout, and then the father noticed it, he didn't say anything. So he called him one day and said, "Beta, in our family, nobody was uneducated." I left him. He came back again and said, "Dad, take me to school." So father took him to school, and after he studied, graduated, came back, then again father was disappointed. He became very arrogant. He became very proud that he is educated now. So then also he didn't say anything. He noticed it. He just called him and asked, "Have you asked that knowledge, knowing which everything is?" So then this boy said, "I don't think my teacher knew." But did you ask of him? So then the teaching starts. So this is how, our scriptures talk about it, how to deal with our children. So it is a Lalayet Panjavarshan. You should spoil the child with love and affection up to 5 years. Then Dashavarshani Tadayet, it is. I mean, Tadanam doesn't mean beating, it means discipline. You have to discipline him 15 years time. Then if you want to have peace in the family, treat him like a friend. So these are all nice teaching.
Swamiji, what do you say to your, or is there a reason to convince a teenager if they want to learn philosophy without the strings attached to the religion? If that's what they want to do, how do you tell them that religion is also important? Or you leave them there and then let them find out?
The teenager wants to learn philosophy.
Philosophy, but without the strings attached to the religion.
Without any strings attached. Now let him learn philosophy, then we'll see whether he has any strings. So let him learn, nothing wrong with that. So then we'll see strings gets cut off slowly, if he is sincere. Or if he is studying for a curiosity, the intellectual curiosity, or really he wants to live that path, that he will discover. But give him that chance. Okay.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru
Thank you, Swamiji, for the time for satsang. This has been the most personal time we had, and we look forward to this satsang. So thank you for giving us time. And I'm sure everybody has enjoyed it. We've also recorded this and we'll put it on our channel. But from all our sides, we want to just offer pranams to Swamiji and thank you for him.
Thank you.